Good evening, everybody. This is Huge Pop from the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Tonight, I have the pleasure to sit with KnockOut Entertainment manager Nicholas Vick, and with us tonight is a guy from Illinois. I just found that out. Currently living in Florida. KnockOut Entertainment MMA star Corey Barreiro. How you doing today, guy, my friend?
Good. How you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful, man. I'm doing wonderful. Life has been busy. I can say that I appreciate you coming on the show, and I appreciate Nick setting this all up. Man, Nick, you've been a blessing to me, man. You got me a new logo, and man, he's taking my podcast and he's like helping me out promote it, and I appreciate you. I appreciate KnockOut Entertainment, and I can't wait to see the shirt, man. So I'm excited about that.
It's getting there, man. Back ordered.
All right, man. So our main focus tonight is on our MMA fighter here, Corey Barreiro. So we were talking before the show about moving from Illinois down to Florida. Can you tell me what encouraged you, what drove you to move from Illinois to Florida? Did you have this in mind that you're going to be an MMA fighter?
I started MMA I'd say about 12 years ago. Right after I was like about 22-ish, 24. Honestly, somebody just hit me up one day and was like, "Do you want to fight?" And I was like, "Let me try that out." I wrestled in high school. I did pretty good in it. I never made it to state. I made it to nationals one time, and but that's as far as I went. As soon as I started in freshman year, I was nonstop. As soon as I was instead of my summers being natural, hanging out, let's go and have fun, I was spending all my time summer camps wrestling and at tournaments all the time too and stuff. So when I was focused, and then I got the call out there in Illinois one day. Was like, "Hey, you want to fight?" And I was like, "Why not? Let me try it out." I honestly had a little aggression, angry background and stuff like that, and so when someone offered it to me, I was excited because I used to kind of fight already on the streets, but not legal, and it was cool to get the opportunity to do it, to entertain people and do it in front of people, and it was just amazing. So, boom, as soon as I started that, then obviously living the whole troubled life and doing all that lifestyle was not for me anymore. Then I'd say, well, then I was 3-1 as an amateur. Then, I jumped pro. I thought I was really good. I know I am. It's just pro life it's a whole different game out there. Unfortunately, right now as a pro MMA fighter, I haven't won any fights, but I'm still out there. I'm still trying, not quitting, not giving up, not running away from the game. Just sticking in there. Everybody tries to say like, with the age thing, and I don't believe in that. It's just a number. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking, and I'm still going the distance wherever this is. Wherever this leads me. Because I've had awesome opportunities, not just in MMA, but in boxing actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was awesome blessing. Not only did he give me a meet and greet with Ken Shamrock, but I got to try out for Ken Shamrock's Valor BK. Bare knuckle boxing promotion. Okay. That was exciting and terrifying at the same time because, like I said, I thought it was just supposed to be meet and greet. He didn't want to get me all nervous or nothing like that. So, boom, I happened to bring my mouth guard and stuff with me that day because I figured I was probably going to roll around, do some grappling or whatever, show some skills. And then all of a sudden he gives out a speech saying that, this opportunity comes once in a lifetime, and that and then he started talking about how that you get a false confidence because we're wearing boxing gloves. He said, bare knuckle, it's way different. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, so we're about to go scrap right now. Okay, cool. All right. And then it's just because I haven't been in the gym for a little bit, so I was a little nervous and stuff. And plus because a brand new gym. Honestly, it was awesome. American Top Team. It was one of the gyms I've dreamed of going to since I started fighting and stuff in Illinois. I used to train at this several gyms. One of them was at Top Notch too, and there's UFC veterans that come out of there. and it was just a great opportunity to not only be there but to train there and obviously try out for Valley BK. And it was awesome because the first time I didn't know if I did so well,
Okay.
and I did well enough to go again twice. So
Awesome,
I
man.
went
Now,
against a guy that was like my weight, and then my next match was against a heavyweight guy.
wow. So
Yeah, so
Nick set, did you set that up, Nick?
yeah, so Mr. Garcia, World Class Fight League, America Top League member. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually going to be on the show here probably in the next couple of weeks. I got to reach out to
Okay.
him and talk his camp, his school is located in Tampa. So we reached out. We're doing some work together, and we were talking. And he's like, "Hey, man, how about your fighter? Come out and meet Proctor. He's going to come out here." And I was like, "All right." So I could call Corey. Hey, Corey, you want to meet? I didn't tell him there's a tryout because I don't want to get him all nervous or
Right, right.
nothing. Was telling myself, man, please bring your bag. Please bring your bag. You know, thank you, Jesus, that he actually had his bag in his car that day. And so we were sitting for breakfast and, we're just talking. I was like, hey, you got your bag, right? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, good, because you got a tryout for bare knuckle today. He's like, what? So I was like, so yeah, he's really stoked about it. I'm really happy, for him. You know, he talked a little bit about his background in boxing. I believe you're undefeated in boxing, you said, right? At one time, Corey?
Me?
Yeah, undefeated in boxing.
Yeah, only amateur.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still
But
Right.
I
undefeated.
mean, right now, currently, yeah, because I haven't honestly, technically, I haven't had my pro debut yet. So technically, you
Yeah.
could say I'm undefeated.
And I gotta say, man, you said something earlier, Corey, that really it just jarred a thought in my head. You said you never give up. You
Yes,
may be
sir.
0-7 professional, but you don't give up.
Yes,
It
sir.
comes to mind one of the greatest of all time, as in far as sports goes, is Michael Jordan, right?
Amen. I love
It,
it, because I'm from Illinois, so you
right.
already
So
know I love that.
I mean, I'm from Detroit, or I'm from Michigan. So I'm a Detroit Pistons fan, so we have some issues with Michael Jordan because the Chicago Bulls whooped us all the time until we took care of him one time. But no, it doesn't take anything away from who he is. And I remember reading a story that in high school he didn't even make the JV or varsity team the first couple of years. In ninth and 10th grade, I don't think he even made it, but he never stopped. He was
That's
always
right.
outside. He was always shooting balls. He was always doing whatever he had to do. And honestly, he didn't make it big until second year in North Carolina. So
Right.
when to hear somebody with the same positive, because you had to believe that because he's great, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
he had to have the same mindset as you have now as, hey, I'm just going to go out, put my reps in. I'm going to keep on doing it. And eventually the big shot will come and I'm going to be, so I have
Right.
no doubt in my mind that down the road, you're going to have a successful career. So I just wanted to share that with you because I just believe that people that don't give up. I mean, I'll represent. I'll go back to our last time when I talked to the models. That was the same. Their attitude was never give up attitude, never give up attitude. And I think talking to Nick all the time, man. That's I believe is what one of the knockout themes are. Never give up. You
It's
know,
Yes.
actually on one of our shirts. We actually have a
Yes.
shirt. Never give up on it. So
Honestly,
right,
and it helps me get through the day too as well. Because honestly, um, I took a short notice fight, so it does stink because now, unfortunately, my record's 0-8. But I kept this under the radar because I was already under an injury from my last fight, and the promoter knew what I was going through and everything like that. He knew, but I had to save a show because apparently there were 6 other pro fighters, so 12 honestly, because there was 6 pro fights
right.
that just the week of fights decide not to show, not to call or nothing. Promoter has no idea. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this because I can, I mean, and it's not illegal or anything, but they were able, Common Night was able to take, because my blood work and everything was expired, so they were able to take care of my blood work, my eye exam, so they got me pretty much all officially situated with the state again and stuff. And it didn't even come out of pocket at all and stuff. But unfortunately, I just had to put my body on the line. It stinks too because I went in their game plan to strike like I did last time, and I threw a leg kick and then I threw a front kick, and he's this guy. He's a good grappler, so he ended up catching my leg and caught me, slammed me down on the ground. But when he did, I thought I pulled something in my back, but I just fracture. I got hairline fractures in my ribs
Wow.
and stuff that I'm healing from right now, but I'm doing good.
Well,
Doing
so
a lot
I'd like,
better. Haven't been back in the gym yet. Well, pushing like I should be, but I've been hitting the Stairmaster on the treadmill, doing what I can do. You
awesome,
know,
man. I'd
like I
like to
said, I'm
start
not
to
gonna
be
give up. I'm not gonna quit.
right. I'd like to start the beginning of all this. So, you were a amateur wrestler, amateur boxer. What? Let's talk about training and preparation. What does a typical day when you're healthy of training look like?
Ooh, wake up. Excuse me. Sorry. Hold on. Little help here. Little help here. I just don't want them to like bump this and knock it over. Here. Got 3 dogs. They're wild,
Okay,
crazy.
no biggie.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Um. But on a healthy day, I wake up usually about like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Get a couple miles in, run, uh, get a good breakfast in. Try not to eat light or eat too heavy and stuff. It all depends on if it's fight week or not. But if it's not fight week and I'm in a fight camp, still I try to limit myself to about, I'm gonna say, 2 to 3,000 calories a day, mostly protein for sure, all water, and then
Okay.
the recommended electrolytes. Um, but then usually I work, because I'm not too successful right now where I have to work too as well as far as training. So I usually work, then in the evening I get it back in. I usually spend about a couple hours, 2 at least. Sometimes it's more with my boxing coach here lately, and all my guys that I can. Yeah, because unfortunately, so I train at 12 rounds. They're going through a move right now. So with that move, the location that they're going to, that building's just not up to par right now. But me and my boxing coach, we've been going to a gym, 2 Year House Ball. They have a section for us, which is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm still able to get my boxing in and get my coaching in and stay with it, stay active. Yeah, because
Awesome, man.
honestly, if it wasn't for this, then yeah, my mental, I mean, my mind would be somewhere where it shouldn't be, and I'm just very blessed that, I could do this in a very, grateful way. God blessed me with such talents. I was wasting it, doing it the wrong way. And it's awesome that, that I'm with an organization and with people that, not only they support me, with the fighting, but, that I'm actually talented with it too. And it can get me somewhere.
Awesome, man. I gotta say thank you, Dad, for popping in the chat. My dad's one of my biggest fans of the Huge Pop Wrestling podcast. My mom passed away on the 22nd, and she was
I'm
probably
sorry to hear that.
the biggest Huge Pop Wrestling fan ever.
My
And,
condolences.
thank you. And so it means a lot when my I mean, I'm 53 years old. I'm going to say this say it. It means a lot when my dad shows up for the
Oh, of
at
course,
the
of course,
podcast. So I mean,
of
I'm
course.
at 53 years, I still think I'm a little kid, and I'm always going to be his son. So I appreciate you,
That's
Dad, coming.
awesome. Yeah, and
Appreciate you coming
hey,
in.
I'm gonna be the same way. And with my son, unfortunately, I just my lifestyle was a little bit different. I was adopted, so But it's cool though. I did later on in my life. So I've been in actively in my father's life like for 10 years now. We
Awesome.
call each other and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand. I mean, where you're coming from. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. To have the parents just involved in your life
I've
the whole
been
time.
I have been blessed for sure. So,
Yes.
can you describe to me or to the people out there your pre-fight preparation routine? Is there like the day before the fight? Is there a routine that you go through that
The
to
day
get
before
ready?
the fight was weigh-in, so I'm usually not in the greatest mood until I get to eat.
All right.
Yeah, usually I wake up. I try to the day of weigh-ins. I try to be within 5 pounds, within there, so then I'm in the sauna. Um, and then the less, so I'm gonna do the less I can as far as motion and active activity wise. I'm gonna do a lot more sauna and water weight. So there's another little trick that fighters use. We get into a tub, Epsom salt with like pretty warm water. We sit in there for about 20 minutes. You get out, dry yourself off, and then wrap yourself in towels and blankets for about 20 minutes. So you do that back and forth about 4 or 5 times, and you can cut some seriously good weight. But like I said, it's only water weight. So
gotta
As
try
soon as
that.
you drink something like so, I mean, it's torturous. So the day before the fight is torturous, honestly,
Okay.
until after we step on that scale in the official weigh-ins. I'm gonna say something though. I can't say this throughout my whole professional career. I've never missed weight. I've always been on weight. You know, even with the short notice, I happen to be within the weight restriction. So,
Wow.
you
No
know,
wonder you
it's
guys are pissed off at the weigh-in. Jeez,
oh,
I'd be
yeah,
mad too. Jeez, now I
yeah.
understand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and it's all right. So I usually walk around like 185, 190, and I fight at 170. So I need like a few good weeks. I'd say, well, when I say a few, uh, at least 6 weeks in camp to get it down, and then so the week of the fight week, I'm within 10 pounds.
Okay.
Definitely within 10 pounds, so it's not as hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
know. Like it's like hearing that, but when it comes down to that water weight, it stinks, but it does something. Only like I said, it's only real quick. But as soon as you get something right back into you to drink, that's what because you can't really drink anything, eat anything. When you lose all your water weight, you're losing all your water weight.
That's crazy, man. So what's been your most memorable fight and why?
My most memorable fight, I am gonna have to say with John Morrison. That was a short notice one too. I got a 2 weeks notice, short notice, but the reason why is because I got to display my stand up the best on that one. Actually, honestly, I believe I had a bogus ref. Come to find out later on that the referee was paid by the promotion and he wasn't even a state athletic referee. But it is what it is. I'm not bad mouthing the promotion or anything like that. It is what it is because at the end of the day, when you put in a fighting world, when you put yourself in that position, let the odds ever be in your favor. You know
Right, right.
what I mean? So I was doing really well actually. Honestly, standing up, I just do a lazy right, and I think honestly he just like caught my arm, and I went down with it as I was building a base. Boom, he was punching my hand, and the referee just called the fight. But I got to display a lot of my stand up that time, and honestly, because anytime I got into trouble and I got overwhelmed in fighting, I always went down to the ground. I always went down on the ground. Because of my wrestling background, and that's where my fighting started and everything. So anytime I got uncomfortable, I went to the ground. And I always shot to the ground, but that fight I didn't. Even when he was returning fire, there was a point in the fight where he had me up against the cage and stuff like that, and but I did not shoot to the ground. I stayed up and was really, really feeling confident. I really was, honestly, and but it does stink. I'm
Yeah.
learning lessons out here. I'm not honestly, and that was honestly one of my biggest victories too. Like even after whatever the loss, I didn't consider it a loss, honestly, nor did my coaches either, because again I took it on short notice, and like I said, I my stand-up was just amazing.
That's awesome, man. So in a cage, man. So you're confined in a cage, you and another dude, ready to beat the heck out of each other. How do you handle the mental aspects of being trapped in that cage
Eh,
for for that
God,
period of time, man?
only God, because honestly, my emotions, I can't even comprehend, honestly. Like, and if anybody else says they can, I mean, it's great because there's a lot of things going on. You have to think about a lot of things, but that's why you have to stick to training. You got to be consistent with training because it's a second nature. I don't have to think, because everything that I've done in training, it just comes out. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, and then I just got to remember to breathe because sometimes that's my biggest problem. And it's awesome because with my fighting career, I was when I started, I was with another woman, married to another woman. But now, since I've been out here, I met my wife out there in Illinois, but we moved out here, and it's just been amazing. She's actually a professional cornerman. She's in my corner. Yeah, my spiritual person too, and I couldn't do it without her and
Right.
stuff too, honestly, because she's my biggest supporter
Absolutely. I
and
love how
stuff.
you made.
So
I love how you talk about supporters because my wife, she just walked by and she all day today she suffered with a migraine. But before I came on the show, she gave me a kiss and she said, "I'm so proud of you." So I love how that we have wives that can be
Yes.
that supportive of us. Because I'll be honest with you, I have my dad that's watching. I have my mom. They were supportive, but to hear it from another person like you say how supportive your wife is to you, that means a lot to me because my wife is the same, and I just man,
And
so
that's something to hold on to. That's a blessing in
absolutely,
itself because,
absolutely, man.
man, to sit here and be able to follow my dream and stuff like that, we're definitely taking, financial like tolls and risk and everything like that. But God is just blessing us. He's been amazing to us. And this week alone, our washer just took a crap like a couple weeks ago, and we had to haul stuff to the laundromat and stuff like that because we have 2 kids too. And so, a friend from church, it was actually another because I switched churches, and so the church I used to go to, I'm still in touch with a couple people, and he brought over a new washer, like it's industrial washer, and on Thanksgiving morning. It was just
Wow,
amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
honestly. And hold on to that. Hold
Absolutely.
on to that because I know definitely in the fighting world and when you're chasing your dreams, we tend to be selfish. I'm not gonna lie. I tend to be selfish a lot. It's just to have her here to what I mean, like I said, not only support, but to make sure I'm sticking with it too. Because honestly, there's times where I do want to like give up on myself. But it's just amazing to wake up with her to push me every day.
Yeah, man, absolutely. You use the words chasing your dreams, and I would tell you, man, this podcast is a uh, escape from, like I said, I take care of kids, foster kids, 8 of them at a time, and it's a lot, and I use this podcast as an escape from reality. But on the same note, chasing my dreams is for sure. One day I want this thing to be huge, and Nick and I have talked about that,
It's gonna
and,
be.
and I think it's going to be. I believe it's going to be in time, So I'm super
Say
excited.
there's no thinking, it. Think is
All right,
not knowing,
all
and
right, I
it's
know it.
gonna
I
be.
know it's going to be
That's
big.
right.
Yeah, my wife, she made me read a book, part of a book. It's about having that same attitude, knowing it. So let's talk about your strategy and style a little bit. Grappling and striking compared to what other style is there? Yeah, grappling. Are you a grappler or a striker
Yeah, so I started with wrestling and then I went into the jiu-jitsu world. So my grappling, I believe, is way better than my striking. But here in
Okay.
the last couple years, since I've been in Florida, all I've been doing I'll get back to that. But so I've been doing mostly Muay Thai and boxing and stuff. So a
Okay.
lot of stand up. So that's what got me very confident in standing up in that one fight. But we want to talk about a small world. So when Southern Illinois, when I was living out there, I was training at this gym called Pedigo Submission Fighting, so the PSF. They, it was crazy because when I went to 12 rounds, there was a gentleman I met there. Boom, he said something about the birdhouse. I was like, birdhouse. Oh, boom. I know. I thought he was talking about a different bird
Okay.
because there's a guy that we call Bird at the gym out there, the
Mm-hmm.
Pedigos. Well, it's a different bird and stuff like that, but either or, it's the same gym affiliation from that gym out here. So I got back into the gym life, this and that, and not only like did I get back like because other than grapple, I'm saying a strike over there at the 12 rounds. When
Right.
I got to the 12 or when I got to the grappling aspects, it was like being at home in Illinois. I'm saying what who I was being taught from in the beginning, which is awesome because yeah, it's same people. Well, the instructor was the same person, but he just came out here to Florida, started his life out here in Florida, and now he's successful. He's got his gym because he started in his garage, and now he's at a gym, and I'm just very proud of him. Very proud of him.
Nice, man, nice. So what do you think? What's your opinion on the use of elbows and knees in MMA? I mean, I see a lot of people throwing nasty elbows, man.
Oh, I mean, that's what the game life out there in MMA. It's mixed martial arts, so it's pretty much anything. It's those are nasty. You guys stay away from them. I remember when I got back into fighting again, my first fight, Chase Roden. Uh, it's great because he was a grappler, and but I went into the fight. This is what's crazy about in the fight world too. But I sustained an injury right before I got into the fight, and I had a floating rib. And the game plan was for me to stand up on my feet because he's a brown belt. So it's like I'm gonna stand up on my feet and make him force the takedown. But with my rib, I was kind of nervous and everything. I shot the takedown, and I was fighting off submissions, and he ended up getting the mount, just throwing elbows, boom, boom. It was cool. He didn't cut me open though. But I mean, uh, I just feel like when you're in mixed martial arts, you know what you're expecting. It's anything goes. At least it's not like it used to be in Pride, because they used to allow headbutts and foot stomps, and you can knee to the head while you're on the ground. It was pretty much like a street fight. No holds barred, but without weapons.
Wow.
Yeah, but
So, I got a question here. So when you go into these fights, obviously you know your competitor, you know your opponent before you go. I'm assuming, right?
oh,
So do you follow up? Do you watch some old videos to see his tactics, study him?
sometimes here lately, because my last two fights have been it's a good question too, because my last two fights have been short notices, so I had honestly no time. And the John Morrison fight, he was actually coming back, so he hasn't fought in a long time. So the video I only got to see of him was from like 5 to 7 years ago and stuff. But then in my
Stop.
head, I'm thinking, I'm training for me. These guys should be training for me. My fighting style should be my fighting style. I want to know what they're good at, what their strong suit is, so I'm my defense of that. So let's not put myself in that scenario or whatever. But other than that, I I I train to fight, and because you never know what's going to happen. So you got to be ready. Just train your body to get what I mean, move. What I mean, in the scenarios, and just know like whatever he's going to be doing, what he goes for. Like even when he's tired. So sometimes you got to watch those videos too, like when they're tired too. But at the end of the day, you're going to figure a guy out when you fight him. That's it.
Yeah.
Because video footage is honestly, it's out the window when you get into the cage, because he could have been doing something for you, new for you now, he's trained for all these other fighters that never been a fighter for you. And so now he doesn't know what to expect from me, and so, yeah, I try not to get worked up, because sometimes I feel like I tend to get myself a little bit, overwhelmed watching a video. It's like, oh, but better stay away from this, boom, this and that. So now it's like, oh, if he even makes that movement or goes to that, then it's you go to sleep. All right, love you. All right, sorry, but yeah, I try not to overstudy him and overthink it or whatever, because God has it all figured out. It's his, what I'm saying, his will. I trained, prepared for all this, to fight. Whoever's in front of me, you know, I gotta figure out once it happens, because I remember in my second amateur fight, the guy, I was a wrestling background. This guy was Taekwondo. Well, on our feet, he kept piecing me up. I remember he kicked me a few times on my face, punched me and everything. I didn't like it, and every time he pieced me up a few times where I didn't like it. So I just like threw it. I knew no like boxing whatsoever. I just threw like series of punches and pinned him up against the cage, took him down. My wrestling just was way better than his Taekwondo, and I actually ended up getting the split decision win. And I'll tell you what, I was beat up. I was beat up. I don't know how. I was blessed for that for sure.
Yeah.
Next day I couldn't walk. My face, I had his toe imprint, like right here, because yeah, he kicked
I
me
did.
good. Taekwondo guys, they're good and fast, and boom, it's all about that. Like they're like more snap. You know what I'm saying? And so he was getting me and pissed me off. Like it was just fortunate that they weren't knockout hits. They were just those what I'm
Those
saying,
things.
those irritating
Yeah.
ones, what I'm saying, those annoying ones, but where
Yeah.
I was able to boom, do me like, what I'm saying, he had no defense for my wrestling. So
Well, I can tell you, you used the phrase "got kicked in the face" and didn't like it. Well, I don't think I'd like it either. So you got more balls than me. So I'm gonna say that right now.
yeah.
So is trash talking part of the game?
Of course, I don't get involved in that. I'm very humble. I in my heart I just believe cocky fires, they just tend to get their karma,
Oh yeah.
and that's just not what
Get the
I represent and who I am. You know, I believe, you know, God blessed me with talents to show off to the world, you know, not to talk about it, just to be about it.
Right.
You
You see a
know,
lot of that. That's a shame because every MMA fight on the UFC, it's always this trash talking BS stuff that, and I'm like, man, is that real?
right.
Is it
And
real or is it part of the, are they, I
probably
guess that,
so,
I guess
but you
that's my
know,
question. Do promoters, I mean, I'm going to just throw Logan Paul
oh
and
no. I
John.
mean, promoters, they can hint like, hey, this might be a good idea. Hey, this is entertaining, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been in shows where they're like, hey, you know, people like this and that. Boom. So, you know, it's either you're gonna take the risk to do that, you know what I'm saying, or not. I just like to stay humble. I
So you
do.
guys get in the ring, you guys straight up hate each other.
No, I don't go in there with hate or
Okay.
animosity at all because I feel like I lose focus. I gotta stay with the game plan because when you go in there with emotions, you're not gonna go through with your game plan. You know, now you're in there to brawl or take his head off, head hunt, and do stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So
Okay.
I leave emotions out. I pray and just let God take over.
Oh man, you're covering a whole lot of stuff because I had a question on here. How do you stay motivated? Because for me, again, you want to give up, but you don't give up. So how do you stay motivated when after loss like that? How do you? Yeah.
Like I said, my wife first and foremost, and then I got a great support team. Other than, um, you know, my boxing coach and stuff, Nick. He's not only is he, you know, I mean, one of my sponsors, but he's a great brother to me too.
Okay.
You know, if it weren't for him, honestly, other than my wife, I don't know where I'd be because, you know, he is, you know, pushes me to, you know, not only just represent, but you know what I mean, the this logo, but to be the logo, you know, you know what I mean, what this is really about, you know, and that just and that's why that's why I'm the fire starter because you know what I mean, well, it just kicks ignition in me, you know what I mean, where I just want to, you know, just spread it out to everybody else too, you know, because you know, honestly, I was done with it. It was a talk. It was a talk about situation like, oh, maybe I'll get back into it. Well, this and that. But Nick, it was just amazing because when that day when we had the talk, he made a phone call to 12 rounds, got me introduction to them, and that's how I got back into MMA, and it's just been amazing.
Well,
It's been a blessing.
I can say that about Knockout. That's why I am very pleased to partner up with Nick and Knockout. I mean, he
Yeah,
does a lot. I mean, he does a lot for me and with encouragement. So I appreciate that, Nick.
he
Seriously.
does a lot for everybody. Honestly, sincerely, I've seen it with my own two eyes. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, too. Like getting tears over here
Great
and stuff.
man.
I'm just like, it's just been a blessing since I met him, and you know, very honored, and I just love it because you know, because even with you know, whatever you know, I know people see it as losses, whatever it's not, you know what I mean, but they're lessons to me. You know, even with all these losses, you know, he's right here, believing in me, knowing that I can keep doing it, continue doing it, and you know the win is coming.
All right. So let's step out of the cage for a moment and talk about your outside the cage stuff. How are there any hobbies? How do you stay busy in between? Is there hobbies, activities that you enjoy doing outside of training?
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite things to do besides like going to church fellowship and stuff is disc golf. I like to disc golf,
All right.
to
Yeah.
chill, and then so I'm a full time parent. I have full custody of my kids, so being with them, teaching them, you know, not only is that a hobby, but you know, I honestly just love to do it. I don't, um, honestly, I just don't live the lifestyle I used to live anymore. You know, so honestly, you know what I mean? My days consist of waking up, we, you know, get a little exercise in, take them to school, we do our thing, I go to work, come back home, chill, relax, eat, get back to the gym, and then go to bed
That's
and
awesome,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, and yeah, honestly, we've been collecting cans. Like we do that sometimes too. We love walking. We go for walks all the time. We
Okay.
hike and stuff too. And yeah, because in their school they collect pop tabs for there and also on what the gym that I go to, they collected too for chemo for kids.
Okay.
And so we collect them too. So we collect cans for the tabs and stuff. And honestly, one day I'm really not thinking, but I'm I'm hoping that the cans can help out with a gym and stuff. Honestly, I'm hoping that can help out with 12 rounds once it like gets back going and everything like that too. That a lot of people can donate cans. So it goes to a lot of benefits. You know what I'm saying? Not only can you make like extra change, whether it's that, but it's for the hospitals and the kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's awesome because my kids actually look forward to doing that sometimes too, because they each grade they compete. So all the my son they go to the same school with my daughter. He's a 5th grader and she's 4th grade. And it was funny because last year her grade won and this year her grade won too. Last year he didn't really even like care too much about it, but he saw how active we were, me and my daughter were in it and stuff like that. And he joined this year, but his grade couldn't, achieve. They couldn't beat him, just in time, whatever it's not. But it's cool because now, I got both of them. It's awesome because people throw cans out all the time. They really do. And it's so cool because, it gives us something to do, honestly.
Absolutely.
And, I don't know, you could say it's a little community service too, because there's sometimes when we do pick up all the trash and stuff like that too. It's just amazing because, I feel like it's parenting in a different way, I'm
Speaking of,
not
hey,
just
on that note, I know you've been talking about your past, and you don't have to answer these questions, but if you want to keep it in the past where it belongs, I understand. But can you tell us a little bit about what was in your past, your troubled, where you were at that time, and what was your defining point that you changed, or what was your rock bottom, I guess, that you realized I got to do something different, or I'm going to be dead.
Yeah. All right. So, good question right there, and I don't mind because boom, as it says in scripture too, it's confess and everything, and this is something I don't mind at all because I got through it all. Rock bottoms. So when I was with my ex-wife, I was in the drugs and I was in the meth, and so I unfortunately we were doing it, and the kids were taken by foster care. And so the kids, they were in foster care for just over 2 years. And that's so obviously when they were taken by into state custody, that's when I was like, dude, like, what are you doing? And it just stinks because, being the child of mother, she is who she is. It's just, I had to change, and, it just stinks because I felt like there was something there, but, it wasn't God's will. It wasn't God's will whatsoever. And it was mine. And I found out the hard way for sure that, if God's not involved, then it's not the plan. And so, it took some serious time to get away from her, but the kids got in foster care. I had to do a lot of parenting, I had to do a parenting class, drug classes, group counseling too, mental health and everything. And yeah, did what I had to do, got my kids back.
But
And
about how clean, what, how 10, 12 years, something like that, clean?
yeah, it's been, well, not that, I was going to say 2016.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man.
Yes.
Really
Oh yeah, man. Because I of course I do work in the child care. I foster
That's
homes.
what I heard when you said that.
Yeah, and
That
I'm
touched my
like,
heart.
and see, you are a success story that I wish other dads that lost their children and moms and dads that lose their children would hear your story, because a lot of these people are told, hey, you got to do this and this and you'll get your kids back, and they don't want to do this or this, but yet they want to complain about, what I'm saying. But you took that next step. You said, okay, I've got to get this straight and this straight. And if this person's not going to do it, well, I want my kids back. From what I gather from what you're saying, you had that drive and you were like, I'm getting those kids back.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And to me, that shows a lot of character in you. As far as, I mean, I could care less if you're an 0-25 fighter. a man that fought for his kids.
And that makes
That
you a
means
winner.
they make you
Thank
a
you.
winner, dude. You are a winner
Thank
in
you.
my book, man. Because a lot of I see a lot of a couple years ago. All you got to do is leave your girlfriend. Well, I can't do that. Well, okay, then all you got to do is, and finally he got smart, and because they were like, you don't think we're serious. Well, but finally got smart, and now their success story, just like yours. He made that jump. Yeah, was that hard to do? Heck yeah, that's hard to do.
Yeah,
But
it's not easy. Yeah, because that was my first marriage, and
absolutely. But man, I applaud you for that, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're a good example of what other other dads that lose their kids need to
Right,
listen.
and yeah, I just try push that because it was not an easy thing, and
No,
to be honest with you, even when so I got custody of the kids, and when I moved out here too, the mother tried to force us to move back and stuff too. Like I was going through some legal stuff while I was living out here, and but God's grace, God's will, like I said,
absolutely,
we're
man.
here, and He knows what's good for these kids,
Absolutely.
and that's why I'm in this situation. I wouldn't be here if
Do
it
you have
weren't for God.
Do you have any role model fighters and that you look up to and consider your role model that you would go, hey, that you'd bounce some stuff off of?
Oh, honestly, my all-time favorite favorite guy, because yeah, I mean, like two like scripture and stuff like that, but you're not supposed to idolize anybody. But like my favorite guy was George St. Pierre, GSP.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just loved
I was
him.
hoping you,
Loved
man,
him.
because you were saying McGregor, you and I were like,
Oh
okay.
no. He is
Hey, man.
McGregor's not my dude. But George
But
St.
same, yeah,
Pierre was just the most
yeah.
humble person and just technical. He was all about technical technique too. And he even told you I witnessed his fight against Josh Koscheck where he beat a gentleman with a jab. All he did was jab him. He countered,
Yep.
jabbed him. He beat him with a jab. All he did, and that was so impressive. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
expert the
No trash
basics.
talking, kept it real, very humble,
And he
respect
was even
them.
in. I remember watching the Ultimate Fighter, the show, the TV series when he was in it,
Yeah.
and Josh Cott, that guy was a tough, and it pissed me off because, um, before he fought GSP, I looked up to Josh Koscheck because he was a wrestler. He was a very collegiate wrestler,
Right.
state champion, really good. And then he was on that show with GSP. He was even bringing in people to try to piss him off and stuff like that. And GSP just laugh it off and stuff. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram and stuff like that here still too. And he's just a good guy, just a great guy. Cause I just feel, you know what I mean? Like that's who, as he is a fighter, is who he is as a person too. And and it's awesome because a lot of people think fighting, you just need to be evil and you need boom, boom.
Oh,
No, God bless you. There's a good way to distribute your anger too. And that's one of them for me, just going to just punch something, just release all this inside, you know what I mean? And
So you're in the fighting industry. So you brought up Conor McGregor. You brought up St. Pierre. What is your thoughts? You guys, both you can answer this. What are your thoughts about the YouTube sensations, Jake and Logan Paul, being part of the sport that you guys are compassionate about? You bring these guys in, and I mean, we can give Logan Paul his clout because whatever, you're a WWE champion now,
he's got to
whatever.
make up his mind. He's doing anything for
But my
the
frustration is
views.
my frustration was his brother Jake. And when he gets in the fights that he whatever trains his butt off for, he's in great shape. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doubting that. I'm saying, what is your guys as fighters in the business think of a guy like that coming into the trying to say he's a fighter?
well,
Ugh.
if it's not a, I don't want to say arranged fights because I don't know about the mixed martial arts world or boxing or how that works. Let's say if it's just a regular fight, he has an attitude, or one is going to have that attitude, and somebody's going to, I guess, humble him very quickly, and he's going to learn. It's like you can have 100 million views, you can have all these followers, but when it comes to the end of the day, it comes down to training and skill, I believe. And the better
Right.
man's going to take that. The better man will win, I believe.
Right. I'm so I get in this conversation with my brother, my son all the time. Oh, he's good. He's good. Well, no, he's fought a basketball player.
Yeah.
He's fought a retired fighter. Fury beat the piss out of him. He really hasn't fought a fighter, to be honest. And now he wants to, and I'm not discrediting MMA fighters But when you ask an MMA fighter to come in a boxing ring, that's different for you guys. Am I right? It's a different world.
Yeah.
So come on. My thing to him is, if you're gonna run your mouth and you want to fight MMA fighters, fight him in a cage. No,
Exactly.
he won't do it because he'd get his ass beat.
Yeah, he knows. And because I don't know if you guys know this, but there was actually a boxer went into the cage, and I think that's probably why everybody's scared of that. James Tomey fought Randy Couture in the cage, and
Yep.
well, what happened when he got taken down and he got submitted?
Yes.
But as far as Jake Paul goes, I just don't want to talk bad on the guy just because he started from YouTube. He's in great shape. I've been seeing some stuff with him. I think he wants to try and stuff, but he paid. I'm everything in my heart believe Anderson Silva is a way better fighter than that. I believe he got paid off. Anderson Silva, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't been doing anything since the UFC. Maybe he got in some trouble, whatever. Maybe he wants his, because I think I've seen him on some clips or whatever, maybe some commercials or whatever. But you know what I mean? But it's the same thing with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a way better fighter and boxer. He laughed. He was goofing around the whole time. I believe he's paying off these people. And so, but Tommy Fury, he couldn't. And boom. And that's what happens. But then Tommy Fury is not like no Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? But what I believe he is trying to do is bring boxing back, first of all, because boxing was losing. It was, even with the McGregor and Mayweather fight, that you know what I mean? Like everybody was like, oh, boxing, but it didn't get, you know what I mean, where it was back in the day before MMA started,
Right.
And then, so I just feel like he's bringing boxing back. And I remember hearing something about the whole Francis Ngannou. So when Francis Ngannou left the UFC, I remember hearing stuff that how Jake Paul was trying to do his best to like get insurance for fighters and stuff like that and stuff. So I believe he's got a good heart in the fighting world because a lot of fighters don't get treated well. Promoters are just, hey, you're a check. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're getting a check too, but you're a bigger check. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They get a bigger check. I mean, come on. Obviously, why are they paying out if they're not getting? You know what I'm saying? No one's paying out unless they're getting paid in. So
now you are. I don't want to ask this question. I don't want to sound rude. I want to be disrespectful anyway.
Oh, dude, ask it anyway.
You got UFC, okay, and then you got the promotion that you fight for. Are your fighters that you face and yourself at your level? Are you like a minor league of the UFC, or are you all in a big pool of fighters that could get called up to the UFC anytime?
Dude, honestly, all right. So when I got back into fighting, the only promotion that I fought for so far is Combat Night, and I've had offers for I can go on other, but Combat Night is honestly the stepping stone to UFC.
Okay.
So far, so my day when I came back last year in August, the dude that was in the main event that night, he just fought for the UFC not too long ago, and he fought Bo Nickel.
Okay.
He may have got whooped in 30-some seconds, but I don't know why they put him up against Bo Nickel his first fight. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a dude, I just honestly have pictures with him that last short notice fight that I just took in Jacksonville. Ramon Tavares, he just made it to the UFC and fought on Combat Night.
Okay, so you guys are
so Combat Night. Actually, there's another dude. He actually gave Richard Cox. He's the matchmaker, and Mitchell is Mitchell Chamlet. I'm messing at it, but they are the ones that run Combat Night, and they gave him a shout out because that honestly, it's crazy because that's like one of the best promotions to be in out here. Like I said, like I have all these other promotions I could be in, and those are lowballing compared to Combat Night. You know what I'm saying? And it just stinks, even though that, like, I lost whatever this and that, but you know what I mean? People see, you know what I'm saying? People see me, but that promotion that I fought for is that promotion. Promotion.
You're in the right spot then.
Yes.
Okay. So that
and since then, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but since then, I've met UFC fighters in that promotion and at another promotion, Leo Code, which I've gotten offers to fight, which I'm going to be fighting for them here too in the near future. I met Philly Rowe. He's a UFC fighter. He just fought this year too. And Preston Parsons, met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually gave me tickets. The Combat Night gave me tickets to go to the combat karate thing. I got to meet Leota Machida too. I got a picture with him.
That's sick. So what are your future goals in your MMA career? Is there a specific opponent you would love to face?
Yeah, that dude I just fought again, or just fought last time, Corey Taylor, because I could beat him. No disrespect, no nothing or anything. I know I can beat him, and that promotion definitely owes me. So I feel like my next match coming back will be against him. If not, then I mean,
You got your bare knuckle debut coming up once you get better too, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I always
But
talk
that's not set in stone yet because I haven't talked to the matchmaker with that yet. Yeah. But
I always talk
yes,
about I always talk about fans and but one thing I've just put into my questions to everybody is, and in the sport of wrestling and professional wrestling, is there's what they call brotherhood. In MMA fighting, is there brotherhood as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Honestly, everybody that I met with and everything like that is just awesome. I haven't my past years, there's been people, some, fakes and some tough guys, and stuff like that. But once you humble them, as far as like when I say humble them, when you touch them pretty good and they can't touch you back, then, they learn their lesson. But yeah, as far as all my opponents, Chase Road and all of them, I'm friends with. I'm cool with on social media. No bad blood. This is all business. This is all business, all for fun. Unless you're personally, like, not personally, but physically trying to attack my family, you can say anything. You can say anything. They're just words. Honestly, I know my truth. God knows what I'm doing. He knows the truth. So anybody that has anything to say won't offend me.
Now, interaction in wrestling is they interact with the fans at merch tables after the thing. Even during the match, you see them interacting with the fans somehow, some way. What's the fan aspect like for you as an MMA fighter or a boxer? Do you see that same kind of fan interaction, or do you guys do that with meet and greets? And stuff
yeah. Yeah. I sign autographs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's awesome, especially because of youth, because, with other guys, older guys that are there to see who they're there to see, they're only paying attention, but you get the youth there and they don't care. They just, there's people going out there to fight. And, you know what I mean? And they high five you and you hug you. They want to, as soon as they hear about that you're a fighter and stuff like that too, they ask all types of questions and everything like that too. And you just got to make sure to, say the right things, send them on the right path too. Fighting is okay. Just don't do it outside of competition.
Okay.
Never do it outside of competition.
We forgot to bring up, one thing. You got your first magazine full page article in a magazine, Born to Ride. Nice. Yep. So we actually still have copies of that. If anybody wants a copy, let me know. Reach out to me or reach out to Scott.
Send it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we got you in a Born to Ride magazine, so that was pretty cool. Thank you for Ron Galletti and them out there. Good people.
I'll change my address. I want a copy, man.
Heck yeah.
There you go. Get a copy of it.
And Corey can sign it for me.
I was gonna say I can come over and I'll sign some more. Yeah, because he gave me a few, signed some already. But yeah.
So anybody that's watching tonight that want to sign copy, please reach out to myself or reach out to Mr. Rogers here and let us know, and we'll get you a signed copy and send it out to you.
Reach out to me. I'll send it over to Nick, and we'll get that for you. So, I have kids. Like I said, foster kids. They always want to know what Mr. Scott's doing tonight. I'm always doing podcasts, so of course you can imagine they have a list of questions, and of course none of the questions are like the one Nick just asked you. They're just kids' questions, right?
Love the kid question. Come on, buddy.
You ready? This is rapid fire, man. Ready? Favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
Oh, it's either between man, it's Mexican or Chinese, but usually I like a burrito, so we're gonna go Mexican.
Okay. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yeah, I love it.
Corey, come
Yeah. I'm
on.
sorry. I did it. I love that. Canadian bacon stuff in the.
We have to
I-
reconsider your sponsorship.
Yeah, right. Your favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie. Oh my goodness. Oh, because I'm a movie man. I do like, because I'll be like dancing inside that, and I love Channing Tatum. Magic Mike's a good one, but I'm not gonna put that down as
No,
my
you
favorite
didn't.
one. I didn't put that down as my favorite. Oh my goodness. What would be my favorite? Oh my gosh. Oh, Due Date.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yep.
That's like oof. That one's a funny one. Sorry, I have to go that. That was gonna be that or Pineapple Express, but Due Date. We're gonna
Okay.
final
My
answer.
favorite movie, favorite song, and artist.
Favorite song and artist. Oof. Favorite artist, I'd have to say is honestly, because I was listening to this Montana 300 guy, but I've been getting a lot more of let's say we're gonna go with NF.
NF.
Yeah.
No way.
NF.
You want to
Yeah,
hear?
because I love Christian scene and everything like that. I listen to Animinio and Lecrae and stuff, but
Yes.
NF, it just he like relates hard, and I've been listening to him forever. Ever when he first came out with a future with the Flame, and
Yep.
it's called Start Over. If you ever heard that song, bro, like dude, I'm telling you, you wake up, you listen to that song, you feel forgiven.
Yep.
You'll feel forgiven. I'm not joking.
My favorite song of his is Notebook or Panic Stricken.
Yeah.
Leave Me Alone. Leave Me Alone.
Leave Me Alone is a good
Here's
one.
a cool story. I can't make this up. I was a youth pastor up in Michigan before I came down here to be with foster kids. He was in my youth group as a youth group member. We put on a retreat that we were his favorite, his first ever performance, and
Dude,
he
that's
was a great
awesome.
kid. Yeah, man. We watched this kid grow up. He everything about NF, man, I love.
That's amazing.
He worked hard. He worked.
Hey, you know, that's awesome. That's, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just because you could really feel who he is in his words and stuff like that too.
Yes.
And it's like, that's so genuine. He doesn't do it for the money and stuff like that too. It's, you know what I mean? And it's just, man, like, you know, I know you can't idolize people and stuff like that, but like, man, he just seems genuine, like good people, because honestly, like, I feel like I'm like, when I say energetic, I don't mean just like boom, but I mean like I can feel energies and stuff too. And
absolutely.
Man, and the energy that like he gives off too with his music and everything too. It's like I can relate to everything.
Great kid.
That he's going
great
through.
guy, man. Well, okay, so if you had a superpower and you had to use it in the ring, what would it be?
A knockout. No.
Right. Oh, I guess. Superpower. Let's say not feel pain.
Not feel pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's only, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not the guy like looking for a one up, like, oh, like steal, whatever, and not trying to, you know, boom, like, but man,
Max
sometimes
Steel.
you be feeling some stuff, man. It's like,
Max
wow.
Steel, man. I used to watch that with my kids, man. Max Steel. So, favorite car?
I'd say old school Pontiac GTO.
Old school Pontiac GTO.
Yeah, I like muscle cars. I'm a muscle, and the old school kind. I'm an old school.
Last kid question. What do you want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? I already got my 2 front teeth, so man, I got everything. Honestly, all I want for Christmas is to wake up, continue being blessed, man, and honestly, this Christmas we're gonna be doing it different. Like, so because my wife, she's Latino, so since I got with her, we've been doing the tradition differently. Before I got with her, I've been doing traditions differently anyway. I woke up with the kids, we wake up, do the presents, boom, and then we go to the Chinese restaurant. Now because Latinos, they do at midnight, so we stay up until midnight. Then you open up the presents and stuff like that, and then so we sleep in, and then we went to Chinese and stuff. But this year we're gonna go out giving. We're not gonna put a tree. Like I don't know, like what I just feel like you know how people say like they go to church, CEOs, you know, Easter and Christmas.
Yeah.
Those were two major like these two major holidays that were taken away from like Jesus himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Christ was, you know what I'm saying, born Christmas. Now we're gonna give it, you know, to some guy who gives out presents. That's awesome. That's awesome. But I just feel like whoever started it, you know, took away from the real true meaning.
Absolutely.
And that's honestly just been very spiritual here lately. And that's the lesson I want to like teach my kids and stuff too. I mean, they got everything, and it's so awesome too, because my son he just turned 11 on Monday. And it was so awesome because not that I don't have money for presents and stuff, but he has everything he needs. My this guy that I work for, he bought a camper and there was a guitar sitting in there and he gave it to my son like right before his birthday. So I was like, boom, so there you go, like being, you know, saying being your gift, you know. It's so awesome like how God works, you know, in these times, you know what I'm saying? Like look at, like, because I told him like I wasn't, and it was awesome because, you know, as she's like my mom, you know what I mean, I've known her for about like 12 years now and stuff like that. And she's flown out here to see him, and you know that lights up his world. You know what I'm saying? Just these little moments. You know, that's what I love because, you know, I'm not like whatever, but most of these kids out here, you know what I mean, if they're not receiving something or getting something, it's like they're not happy. You know, and I don't like that. You know, I really truly don't like that. You know, my son, he was lit. Like he had a great birthday. He had a great birthday. He had an ice cream cake, football ice cream cake. He loves that. He loves that.
Nice, man. Nice. No, you said something. My dad put up the Christmas tree. He wasn't going to after mom passed him, but he put it up. I love my dad's post on Facebook. He showed the tree, showed the ornaments and everything. At the end, in all caps, and I love this about my dad. Not afraid to say anything. Not afraid to state his mind. He writes in there. And please promise me, everyone, that we remember the real reason for Christmas.
Amen.
You know, so I've been a lot.
I love that. I love that.
Favorite fighter?
GSP, George St. Pierre.
You a fan of? I already know this. Are you a fan of Conor McGregor?
No.
All right, let's talk about KnockOut. Let's talk about, before we wrap it up. We got about 8 to 10 minutes. Let's talk about KnockOut Entertainment. Talk about about your experience working alongside KnockOut Entertainment. Don't be afraid. This guy up here, he's you know, you can take him. I'm sure you can take him.
You probably could take him, yes.
I don't know. That's why I've been in the gym training. You know what I mean? Maybe one day. But like I said, it's just been a blessing since day one. Since he saw me, met me, he believed in me. It was just awesome because we were at that wrestling show. I'll never forget that day. And you know, right after that, he said that he gave me the introduction over there, and you know, and to this day, like that's just, I mean, look at where we're at now. You know, it's just amazing. And that was just, it's coming on 2 years now, I think, right?
About 2 years. We met there, got him connected with Joyce at 12 rounds because of the gym that we were associated with at the time. He's our very first fighter sponsored. So we did a lot of outreach. We did a lot of autograph signings, meet and greets. I'm real big on community outreach. He's been at every one of them that we've been to. So he's definitely be giving back for that. At first, it was just a business association, just him and I business. Then it grown to a friendship to, I call him my brother now, you know, even after KnockOut, it's going to always be a brother for sure.
So describe to us what role Nick has and KnockOut Entertainment plays in your life as an MMA career. Is he the promoter or booker, or what is Nick to you other than a friend? What does he do? What does he do for you?
Technically, he's a sponsor. So he sponsors me, helps me out with so he got me in. He paid for the first months for the 12-round sponsorship or for my membership. And then honestly I found out after that, like being a pro fighter, you know what I mean? You don't need to pay or whatever this that, but other than that, he would have paid my dues the whole time. Or to say gear I don't ever have to pay for. Boom, nice hat and everything.
Nice hat, man.
Yeah. I had a cup. I don't know where it's at right now, but I mean, all these shows I get into, not only do I get to go into, my wife gets to go into, all expenses paid. My kids go to, all expenses paid. Oh my goodness. I remember that one event. Waldo got to meet Kane. I honestly, he helps me out like with jobs as well too, security gigs and stuff too. And so the one event that I helped him out with, I got to escort Kane in and out
Nice.
of this building, man. Oh my goodness. And I looked up to him. Like, I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid too. I
Right.
actually first started watching was WWF, and they got in trouble. Boom. And then they had to switch it to WWE.
Right. Right. Um.
Met world champion. What was his name? I just made a post. We met him at Harley, that world champion, boxer.
Oh, I don't know. He's associated with the 316, John 316 gym. I forgot his name.
All right.
I
Yeah, he's
forgot
on.
his name.
Post on too long ago. His name's on there, so check out our Facebook page to see it. You got a chance.
Yeah.
You got a chance to meet a lot of cool people lately too, so it's pretty neat.
So
And that's like the greatest thing too, because here in Florida, I believe the Florida fight game, the competition, it's just all over. Like I said, there's UFC gyms and people from the UFC all over the place. Like I've been to these low ball. I don't mean to say it like that, but like what I felt like, because they're not UFC or PFL or all
Right.
these other high promotion things, but yet UFC fighters are coming and stuff. So it's really cool.
So Corey, this is the last. This is your time. This is your moment. Can you tell us where if people? What's your next? Where are you going next? What's your next fight? Can you tell us where we could find you on Instagram if you have an Instagram? What we can, how we can get a hold of you or
But yeah, I got an Instagram. Because before when I was on social media, man, honestly, before I met Nick, I was just, not like a mess up or nothing like that, but I just never took nothing serious and stuff. So I didn't have my real name on Facebook or nothing like that and stuff. So, but now I got my name. So it's my last name, Barreiro, Barreiro 0787. That's my Instagram thing. As you can see, I go by Firestarter. It's spelled differently. Why? It's because that is for copyright reasons, because this is going to be a logo too. So Firestarter, like I said, it's because I put the fire in the heart for the Lord. You know what I mean? Ever since I got back into this, you know what I mean? Like I knew, I told myself, if this is God's will, it's God's way, I'm going to get there. Ever since, it's been that way. And so I only go out to worship music.
awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So the star represents, because the star represents Jesus, because he came down from a star, God, the heart, you know what I mean? And I got them like fused together and stuff,
I like that. I like that. I was reading. I was like,
unbreakable bond, and then the R's for rebirth.
that's awesome. I was reading. I was like, okay, I was gonna ask you, but so I'm glad that you shared that a little bit.
Yeah, because you know what I mean. Even though I'm being professional, I still, you know what I mean. I still got to be me. You know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that way, God is okay with it too, because like you said, so my next move from here, you know what I mean. Gonna be trying to do, you know what I mean, selling like my logos and stuff like that too, because with the starter thing, the fire starter thing, I got a whole list of ideas, you know what I mean, with the star in the heart that I can do, and I just want to own the rights to all that, and boom, go from there. As far as I've seen, nobody has ever tried to do what I've done right there, and so I feel like once I get an LLC and copyright it, that nobody. And honestly, that's another thing that he's helped me out with, because honestly, that it's already pretty much official to where nobody can, because he's helped me put that out, so that's another thing that I didn't mention before too. It just, ever since I met Nick, he's been nothing but my professional life has been so successful because of Nick and Knockout Entertainment.
You can go ahead and get his merchandise too for anybody who's watching that want to get some of
That
his
too.
You can go on to knockout-shop.com and just type in search bar Corey. It'll bring up all his merch. You can support him He does receive the profits off his merch, not me, but he does get the
That's
profits.
true. That's true.
That's awesome, man.
You can order his stuff on there. He has tumblers, hoodies, t-shirts. Just like I said, go to our website, knockout.
And it's autographed too.
Oh yeah, he's like his signature. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you, Corey, for your time. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to play a closeout song, but I'd
All
like
right.
to say thank you in the privacy of the chat. Don't go nowhere, Nick. Nick, thank you for bringing Knockout Entertainment to the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. And I hope my journey is just new with Nick and Knockout. I hope my journey is as successful as yours, Corey. It sounds like you're on the right path.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you got family there. I know there's celebrations to have. Bonfire. I'll let you go to those s'mores. But Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Give Nick a thank you. Give Corey a thank you, guys. And I thank you so much, guys, for coming on tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Whoever is there. Man, it's a busy week for a Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We have a show tomorrow, a show Friday, then we'll be live at Panama City with XIW Extreme Impact Wrestling
Nice.
event. Got Austin Aries coming on the show on Friday, and we have a face-to-face between father and son of XIW. It's going to be
Heck yeah.
it's going to be career versus title. Adrian Whisper was an old school wrestler versus his son Jackson Slade from Tampa, actually, and they're going to finish it up in chaos in a cage. So
Yeah.
my thing is, if Jackson Slade's watching, Daddy put up the thing of belt and career. If Dad wins, he wins the belt and Jackson retires.
Whoa.
But Jackson's response was, I'll put up my belt, but I don't have to put my career up. I said, that sounds like fear to me. But we'll see. We're going to ask those questions tomorrow night. So thank you again, Corey. Thank you again, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
Huge
so
Pop
much.
Wrestling Podcast fans. We love you, and we'll see you later.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house.
Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with the devil, because when he's dealing with you, you cannot get on this level. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with a king. It's like a fight with an army. They got the tanks and everything. He's leaving bruises and stitches, possibly leaving you crippled. Cause when he sets up the table and sends you straight through the middle. Six sadistic free, beat that ass with a light bulb. Leave a piece of glass embedded in the back of your skull. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive